Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, How You Figure, and we are reviewing the Hot Toys Avatar Jake Sully Deluxe figure today, and I wanted to just show off this box art real quick because I think the box art is phenomenal. I love this. Really takes you back to Pandora just looking at it. This is the sleeve that comes over. When you take the sleeve off, you get to see an open view of the figure, but you also get to see this beautiful art right here of the logo, Avatar Way of Water. Very excited to be jumping into this review. Let's get into it. So here he is. I mean, look how tall this Jake Sully figure is. I just wanted to have him out right here. This is him directly out of the box. Just wanted to kind of show him off a little bit here. Here in a minute, we're going to kind of manipulate the lights just so you can kind of see how these paint apps can look under different lights. Right now, I have that blue light behind them. Looks really good. I can already tell my first impressions are the paint apps look really great, and so do the accessories, and so do the clothing and the different accessories on his ears and his hair. Just everything looks good in here. I'm going to be manipulating the light here. You can kind of see the different lights you give, the different lumens you work with, how that can affect the way this figure is going to look in your display. I personally, that's a warmer light right here. You can kind of see how the paint apps can kind of adjust to that. I really like that from this figure. The paint apps are just absolutely gorgeous in hand. And you can kind of see here, just wanted to give a different angle of it. It's just looking really good. Obviously, we can see those exposed joints in the elbows. We'll get to that later. But right now, we're going to just focus on this hair because the hair has come in like a plastic. It's all one plastic piece for the most part. Let's get this kind of focused in. Here we go. It's all one, the paint apps on the hair is really good, but it is one big plastic piece, which is okay with me. It also comes with this this strand right here. You can see it right here, this long strand of more of like the hair you'd see on like the Catwoman figure, for instance. And that looks really good as well. You can kind of see the different accessories that it comes with. There's his holster for his axe and or his hatchet and some different things like that. You can kind of see the exposed joints here. You can kind of see that on the ankles here. That is a little bit of an issue for me, but I kind of knew that going into getting this figure. I do think it is going to help with the posability of the figure though. So again, I knew that going in. It was in the prototype, so no big surprise there. But just the paint apps on this dude is phenomenal. I just love it. It looks so good in hand. I was really worried how it was going to look in hand, but the paint apps are beautiful. You can see the different paint apps and the detail on the face here. It looks really good in my opinion. You can kind of see this little accessory in the ear as well. It's just great. The accessory right here on the ear, the two necklaces, every little detail really bringing to life Jake Sully and bringing to life this character from Avatar Way of Water. You can kind of see the hair again. Really, really nice textured sculpted hair here, great colors, just looking great, man. But I can't help it, the eyes always seem to go to those paint apps. So something I forgot to mention in the review that I'm just going to be throwing in here is this head sculpt here. It actually does come with the rolling eyeball function. You kind of see that right there. So they have upgraded this to have the rolling eyeball function. Awesome upgrade by Hot Toys, adding the rolling eyeball function to this figure. Really, really cool. I just wanted to show that off, add this into the review. So yeah. And now that we're back, we can kind of see, again, I just wanted to focus in on here. The likeness isn't as great as I wanted it to be on this figure. I still think it's really good. On certain angles, you see Jake a lot more, but with this defaulted sculpt, I would have loved to have gotten a secondary sculpt with a screaming head sculpt or something. But look at the paint apps. Look at the different stuff. The neck all the way down to the chest here looks really good, and you can see those necklaces. You can see the different material here. This is where you would put his grenade for his grenade holder. This is where you put his knife. This is where, it's showing off the clips for his rifle that we'll look at here in a minute. But really good stuff here. I mean, really good detailed work. Really, really good job on the accessories. So far, that's been my favorite part, is all the details, all the accessories in the outfit here. And it just really brings the character to life. And it was needed so that way it didn't just look like a big chunk of plastic. So the paint apps doing that as well. Very good all the way down to the feet. We're going to kind of take a look of the accessories right here. And here's what I was mentioning earlier, this hatchet from earlier. This looks great. The paint apps on this are great. The details are awesome. This just looks really good to me, man. We're just looking at this because I'm really, really impressed with the accessories. Here is the knife. again, you can kind of see it for yourself. The sculpt work, the paint apps, absolutely beautiful on these accessories here. We're going to take a look at a few more. We're going to take a look at some of the hands here in a second. And you can kind of see with these hands how good the paint apps are on these hands, man. Again, I know it's Avatar. I know it's like, but that's a big thing for me, is like, even with this, you can see the veins in the hands. You can see the realism there. You can see the aging lines. Just the paint apps on the hands are beautiful. Only comes with a few hands, but it has everything you need. You don't need a lot of hands. This comes with a few, so you can hold the different accessories and hold the different weapons. And I'm really a fan of the route they went with these different hands that they give you. Here is the hand that would hold the rifle, the trigger hand here. This is what I plan to be using for the most part in my display, because once we look at the rifle, I know I'm going to fall in love with it based on the images I've been seeing online. Here's the grenade right here. Really good detail here on the grenade. Again, just the color, the paint apps, the color, the way that it looks, just these accessories have really, really impressed me so far. This has been the highlight of the figure for me, is all of these accessories that you get with this guy. Look at this with the clip. You got the individual bullets in there for the rifle. Just great sculpt work here and just great attention to detail. I love this clip right here, and we're going to be adding that to the rifle here in a second. But before we do, we're going to take a look at the rifle itself that this clip will go into, and this rifle is unbelievable. You can see the different paint apps. Even this lever right here is functional. And the beauty about this rifle, man, is you can use this with other figures, even if you wanted to. It looks that good. I'm obviously going to be using it with Jake. I think it's a must-have accessory for Jake, especially from Way of Water. But all I'm getting at is this is a rifle that I feel like people are going to really want. Even if you have that original Jake Sully figure from the first Avatar film, this might be a piece you seek out. Just beautiful sculpt work, beautiful paint work. Awesome accessory, one of the best accessories of the year in my opinion. Looks brilliant, and you can see right here this clip can go into the gun or into the rifle, and you got it right there, clicks in, and then this is functional as well. I didn't show it in the video, but the eye scope on the gun can move as well. Beautiful applications. Now here's the base. This is what I think makes this a must to get the deluxe. This base right here, this deluxe base, is gorgeous in person. It is gorgeous. Take my word for it. It is gorgeous. It looks so much better in person than it did in videos. Even this video right here, I'm trying to do my best showing you the paint application, showing you the different sculpt work, showing you the detail. This is one of the best bases I've personally seen since I've been collecting. I absolutely love it, and we haven't even gotten to the best part, which will be the USB light up function. But just look at this, man. This really adds to the scene. This really adds to the movie. This really adds to the world of Pandora. I think it is an absolute must-have if you're planning on picking up Jake and Neytiri, is to get the deluxe version so you can get these bases. And here it is with the light. Look how much light this gives off. This is awesome. This looks really, really good. This gives off more light than I was anticipating. And again, when you have it in your display, you're probably going to have some light going on in there as well, so it probably won't show up this well. But overall, just look at the light it gives off. I think that this is brilliant. This base alone is worth picking up. Even if you have like the older Jake Sully, I would try to see if you can find this base like on eBay or something. I don't know how much they're going to be selling it for on eBay if people want to part it out. But this base is totally worth getting the deluxe for. So if you still have an opportunity to get the deluxe, this base is well worth it. But you make the decision on your own by seeing this video right here. But the lighting really does come across really well, and they do a fantastic job with it. Just really takes you into that world of Pandora. And if you've ever been to Disney World, you've ever been to Pandora, when it's getting dark, you can kind of see that these lights, these plants and stuff light up like this. Plus in the movie, you can see it, and it's just great. Here we go. I have Jake Sully now with the rifle. We got him posed up, and he's looking awesome. The clamp has made it a little bit difficult. You got to really make sure you size the clamp up right. You got to test that out before you get that going. But the clamp is almost a necessity. The only problem is you're limited with what you can do with his feet. But right now, you can see how good this looks with the rifle. Like, you can get some really good posability with the hands, some really good posability with the shoulders. You can just see how long and big this figure is. I have the clamp right around his waist right there, but I definitely am going to make that a little bit higher. Here's the only issue I have is the feet on the base. As always with these deluxe bases, it is tough to find the footing, especially with a figure like this. Here he is with the hatchet and the knife. Wanted to kind of give a different look here. Again, struggling to make a really cool dynamic pose with the base. Again, you might have to have one of the feet off of the base and one of the feet on, kind of like with some of these other deluxe figures with the bases. But overall, it still looks really good. And again, I cannot stress enough how tall and how big this Jake figure is. There is a nice weight to it. Definitely feels premium. Definitely feels like they really made sure to make sure they really did a good job with the size and the scale of it. And here we go. My final thoughts on the Hot Toys Avatar Way of Water Jake Sully Deluxe figure. I think this figure's got a lot going for it. I think the paint apps look great. I think the accessories are phenomenal, and the box art is great. And that base is a 10 out of 10 base. Some of the negatives, the likeness isn't where it needs to be, in my opinion. I think the likeness could have been a little bit more better, or could have been a little bit better. Could have really brought out that performance a bit more. Maybe with a secondary sculpt would have been nice, having him with like more of an emotional face or screaming face. But the paint apps are great. The sculpt work is really good, and I'm really a big fan of the figure. But that is one of the complaints I do have. The other complaint I had is be very careful when you get this figure. It was very, very tight in the legs and in the knees and in the elbows. So just make sure you're warming those pegs up. Make sure you're taking your time when you're posing it. You don't want to break off one of the legs of the figure. It was very tight, so just be aware of that going in. But overall, I'm a real big fan of the figure. Obviously, there's some issues with it, like I said, with the likeness. And some of the, again, those exposed joints, I get why they had to do it, but those exposed joints, you can't ignore. They really do stick out, and it's hard, especially on the ankles. It's like hard to ignore it. It's hard to look past it, but it is not a deal breaker for me. I still think that this is a great figure. Personally, I'm glad I picked it up. I think that this is going to look great on the shelf. When Neytiri comes in, Jake and Neytiri together, I think are going to look phenomenal. I still think this is a great piece to add to your collection. Just know the shortcomings with it, with the likeness, with the exposed joints. If that doesn't bother you, it really isn't a deal breaker for me, but I know a lot of people probably that's really sticking out to you on this review. Just know, though, that this is still a great figure, and I'm giving this figure an 8.75 out of 10. I just think it's great. I still think it's a beautiful figure, and that base alone being a 10 out of 10 really ups the value of it for me. So Avatar Way of Water, Jake Sully Deluxe version, 8.7 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed the review. Thanks for watching.